Oh, yes. It is Sunday evening, and you know what that means for us. Maybe Monday for you, maybe Wednesday for you, maybe a different year for you. But it's the 22nd of November, 2015 for us, motherfuckers. It's time for Maxwell Silverhammer and Cruise Control. Nothing sacred, bitches!
Yeah! I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
And I am Cruise Control, and this is the episode for the Sunday of the 22nd of November, 2015. We might be having Jerkman on later on, so we're going to actually put it now in the intro, simply because if he doesn't come on, then we know that he kind of bitched out, and we can kind of call him out.
We can talk shit about him, and
obviously,
all that.
life, you know, life happens and stuff like that. So, but you know, what are you going to do?
Gotcha. It's funny, I hung out with Steve today, man, and both of his drivers could not work my fucking security gate, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they pull up and they're hitting numbers. You know, I can hear them because, you know, I got my windows open. I'm close enough to the gate, you know, to hear that stuff. And so the first guy, it rings to my phone, but by the time I answer it, he's hung up already. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then finally Steve calls me and he's like, hey, man, we can't get in the gate. And I'm like, tell your driver to call. And the guy's like making excuses in the back. I called twice and I got a busy signal. And then finally the third time, I just hear, you know, him pushing buttons and, you know, anyway, somebody let him in and the guy couldn't find the fucking, you know, you'd think, I tell people park by the clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? It's like right there as you drive in. So it's like who's buried in Grant's tomb. And this dumb motherfucker drives around the complex. So then Steve calls me again. He's like, hey, where's the clubhouse? I'm like, dude, right when you come in.
It's a big building in the middle with the palm trees and the sidewalk that goes straight up to it, right at the gate.
I had one driver go, well, look like an office to me.
Yeah.
Well, and the sad thing was, you know, the other driver that came to get him, same problem. I could hear them outside hitting buttons.
You think a clubhouse is gonna be all fucking extravagant? No, of course it's the office. Every clubhouse that I've known is somehow attached to the office because they have to get in there to clean and to get it ready and to let people in.
Right.
Brilliance, man. I'm a duba.
Well, these are, and you know what's sad, dude? Both of these drivers were white.
Well, why is that sad?
Like, are you that fucking stupid? You know, I get it if
you're
wait, or something.
Oh, I see. Okay, now that is okay. Now that's kind of what I want to talk about tonight. Kind of goes into the framework of a lot of the stuff I want to talk about tonight.
Ah, okay.
Because tonight's about identity again. But I have some ideas about it that I want to talk about, just in terms of, and maybe we'll talk about this later if Jerkman comes on, or we'll talk about it regardless. But I want to, I want to run it by Jerkman if he comes on.
I had something I want to run by Jerkman, and you too, because you guys are my mahas, you know. So I have a.
Well, okay, so you've got that. So we've got a couple things. We've got a bunch to talk about tonight, but that's kind of funny. You would think that way because it's racist as fuck, honestly.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not.
It totally is, dude. Okay, that's the epitome of like, well, fucking, they were white. I mean, that is the epitome of like identity, like blame, like surprise, like, oh my god, they're white. Well yeah. So it's what if you said they're blind? Well, they're blind. You would think that they knew better because they're sighty, you know, because sighties know better, you know.
Well, that's it. You know, you think, well, I'm actually harder on sighties. Well, you know that. Yeah. You know, especially when they don't see something. I'm like, dude, you can see, motherfucker.
So you're harder on sighties and harder on whiteys. So it's almost like you expect that. That's really noble of you, man.
Yeah, I know. I expect you to be fucking.
You are setting the standard for looking at people and judging them by their color. Like.
Yeah, well, you know, I figured I could see if he was like a Mehi. You know, it's like, oh, I know working security gate. Or like a Cuba, you know, I'm a Cuba. I don't know how to work the da-da-da. Because, you know, over in Africa, they don't have security gates. You know what I'm saying? You know, they just swat flies in their face and bathe in their own urine. So we're going to start off with a very racist tone tonight.
Yes. For you, at least.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Because you are a racist, you know.
Well, everybody's got a little prejudice in them somewhere, man.
See, that's the thing. So you think it should be so that's an interesting idea, and because you think it should be allowed for certain things. Now you don't think it should be allowed for blindness, though, right?
Well, you know what? Even there's some shit.
So so I should be able to be like, oh well, he's stupid. He wouldn't get it. He's blind.
Well, I mean, certain things,
but
there's certain things for certain groups of people. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, obviously, this is pretty cut and dry. Like, well, why can't you work a fucking security gate? You drive for a living.
So basically, for you, okay, let's get this, because you're gonna get, if you get people listening to this, that you're going to get responses that you're racist.
Oh, sure, I know I will.
And I want to explain why what your mindset might be. See, you are just frustrated that they're stupid. So what you're doing is you are actually, no. Well, okay. So you are actually
dumb. Oh, go ahead.
But you're actually saying, God damn it, you couldn't open this fucking gate, and you're not even primitive, right? Whatever. I don't even know what you're saying.
Primitive. But you know what I'm saying, from a primitive background. Like, you're not a fucking uneducated ass Abakuba, or you're not a fucking...
But they could be, they're, dude, uneducated Birkendirks, dude, I don't know how to do that. I can't even do it. What you mean, dude?
Well, that's true. You're right, and that's what I think.
See, what I think, and I disagree with you on, is the comparison. Because, see, my idea is that there are a bunch of stupid people, and so if they're a certain stupid person of a certain race, it's just an insult based, and you're just and you're kind of using their race, not necessarily because they are that race, but because they are that race, but not because they are that race. In other words, goddamn redneck motherfucker, goddamn Mexican melt, whatever, but not because it's almost like, well, you're dumb and you're black, and you're dumb and you're white. So I'm just going to add that in there to make it fucking more than what it is.
Well, that could be just another way to insult them. It's kind of like, normally I wouldn't clown a fat chick, but if it's somebody I dated who did something fucked up to me and she happened to be fat, then maybe I would throw the fat fucking grenade.
Yeah, so it's not even really about, it's almost just about like ways to insult them.
Because I guess so.
Anybody who knows you knows that in actuality, because I think people misunderstand generalizations and just like throwing out insults, like in your way, as racist. Now,
but I generalize the category of person. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're fucking white trash versus, whatever.
Yeah, but individually, if you got to know that person, maybe later on you go, well, they're not that much white trash, or they're not that, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it was funny.
Like, well, they're white trash, but they're cool.
Right. Yeah, they're cool white trash. They're acceptable.
White trash.
But you know what I'm saying, though, man? It's just like certain motherfuckers are dumb for certain reasons,
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, unfortunately, that reason has to do with
their ethnicity.
Yeah.
And that sometimes it does, dude, because it's culturally. There's certain things they don't learn.
That's a danger in that, right? See, and that's where I kind of try to draw the line on that. Because it's dangerous practice. Because if you say that, then you could say, well, all whites are racist inherently.
Yeah. See, but
but you could, because culturally they're just like that,
Yeah. Well, but certain things in your culture, like if you grew up, in a small town and you've never been around, technology or a lot of different kinds of people, then there's a mindset that's formed, I think.
See, I think that you're kind of I disagree with you pretty much completely in a way.
Wow.
Because that's you go down that road. Like I'll make generalized jokes about the Abakuba or whatever the Mexican belt like that. But but it's a generalization that I know is a generalization. Like I know I'm just fucking venting and being stupid. I know that individually in my mind I can make the distinction between an individual and a group once I meet that person and understand that they're an individual, right? Like if I don't know them, if they're walking down the street and someone bumps me and goes, "Hey man, get the fuck out of the way," and I'm like, "You fucking white trash, fucking tweaker, motherfucking cocksucker," generalization
this is
about
probably what
them
they are.
I don't know them, and they walk away, and then but let's say they or even if they just bump me and just walk by, I didn't say anything. Let's say it was just like a neutral, but I was like, oh, whatever, and I am just pissed off mood.
Right.
But I'm not going to be like, well, that individual, that's how everyone is who talks and acts like that. Because I've met some stoners who are cool, and some stoners who are not. But it's like generalization. That's the danger that we're in our society, and that cops, like a lot of people, all cops are fucking assholes. No, they're not. They're just people who happen to be cops. Like you're, So the danger, I think, in your thinking in a way, to me, is that you actually believe that this shit, because then you believe, well, white people are just racist. Well, those rednecks, he's probably just a racist redneck, right? You think that?
Well, not all rednecks are racist. I know that.
So okay, so you were kind of in the same way in a way. I don't think you believe. I don't think you quite believe what you're saying. I think that's why you say it, and I think this might be the why I say it. Like I don't really believe, like goddamn,
Right. Well, I just like I said, I guess I would expect it they'd be more prone to happen. Hell, I generalize blind people too. You know that, man. There's a lot of them that I'm just like, oh, they're just socially retarded ass fucking blindos.
Yeah.
You know, so
See,
I chalk it up to that.
I think it's more like you. I think it's a danger. I think we both do it in different ways. Is we both generalize because we know, and that's part of what I was going to talk about tonight. We both generalize, but I don't consider myself a racist because I will never judge somebody that I've met based upon their race. Like I don't go, well, that's a cool black guy.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No,
like, oh, that's a cool white guy.
Mind.
That's a cool Asian. You know, I mean, I don't think about that. I'm like, oh, he's cool. He's cool. He's
right.
not. He's a cool dude. Or he's not cool. He's an asshole. You know, I'm not necessarily go, that motherfucker's a nigger because he's black and an asshole. I'm just going to like, yeah, he's an asshole. You know, I know this guy. You know, it's almost like a generalization. It's almost like it's seeing somebody like seeing people on the bus like playing their fucking music, you know, loud like a dumb young teenager. Like, you fucking stupid kid. You fucking dumb.
Oh yeah, and you got to admit, dude, those are some dumb motherfuckers.
Why don't you chew your fucking gum because you're so, you know, and you're fucking inconsiderate fuck, you know, whatever. So, but you're still generalizing because there in other ways they might be fucking cool, you know, in some ways.
I mean, but it's more generalized in groups, though. You know, like look at the Corpronicons, you know, that kind of thing. And like, they're probably all greedy.
We do that
fuckers.
as human beings. Yeah, we do that as human beings because it's lazy in a way, but it's also necessary. Because and for me at least, because it kind of gets from frustration out, like, fucking god damn it, you know.
Well, you know what? It's kind of like my thing, and I kind of wanted to talk about this tonight too. Is remember my post I made a few weeks ago about the housewives?
Oh yeah.
The uneducated ass housewives that basically dropped out of high school because they got pregnant, and now they're raising kids, and their kids get old enough they decide they want to try their hand at the workforce. Well, they got zero office experience, but they're incompetent as fuck, but yet they're making executive decisions for the company.
Yeah,
they're
making grilled on that.
Oh, dude, and a lot of people jumped on my shit about that, but I still believe that shit. I didn't
because because here's the thing, and this is why you're right, is that there are people that fit that stereotype to the fucking T.
Oh yeah,
and that's the thing. There are people like that out there. Now, what people misunderstand is they think you're saying that all women are this or all housewives are this.
No, I'm just saying.
It's almost like almost cause and effect. But see, people don't think that because they think, oh, well, you're generalizing about all housewives when you're not. You're
I'm talking about the one who dropped out of high school, and got pregnant, and now she's raised kids all her fucking adult life, and now all of a sudden wants to try her hand at the workforce, and she's a fucking bonehead.
Yeah, and she's and that's you'd think, well, that doesn't happen, but no, it does.
It does. I see it all the time.
Just like there's the stupid Sidey who talks shit about blindos and all that kind of stuff, and the stupid fucking Mexi Melt who fucking can't find his way around a building and doesn't know English and can't speak like anybody. I do not know, whatever. It just like, fits that stereotype. And when you fit that stereotype, like we said before, you deserve to be made fun of about that. Like you fit certain blindo stereotypes. Guess what? You deserve to be.
I deserve to be put in that stereotype.
Yeah, made fun of. Just like I am totally. I mean, if people listen to me, that's like, oh my god, listen to that white boy's voice. Oh, white boy. And you could have every right to make fun of me in that way because I do fit that stereotype.
Well, I have my things you guys make fun of now, like how I play with pins and how I pulse and shit like that.
Now, if you judge me individually, yeah, exactly. Like if we were sitting in a room and with the start off Mexi Melt, and after a while we started talking to him, and his name was fucking Jose, and he lived in. And he also likes to. He's trying to learn English, but he's having a rough time, so he's trying to make. And you might go, oh, well, that's Jose now. You're not going to go. Right. If after 30 minutes of talking Jose, if he's actually become more than the stereotype to you, if you continue to focus on that stereotype and go, well, he's still Mexican. Then that's when you got a fucking problem, right?
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's a distinction, and I think people are so wound up about race and identity that you can't judge anybody because people. You can't judge people when you. Yes, you can. You can judge them because we have to. Okay?
Yeah. Well, everybody gets judged. Fuck, you get judged for a job interview. You get judged when you go out on your first date.
If you're walking down the street and you see some dude and he's staggering towards you, he's muttering, and he smells like you can smell him from like 10 feet away. He smells like barf, liquor, and shit. And he starts muttering, and he's cursing under his breath. And he looks pissed off. And you walk across the other side of the street. Is that you being discriminating? Oh, yes.
Well, yeah, because you got to protect yourself.
You got to protect yourself, and you've got to realize what the issue is. Now, if that guy is stopped and he's like, whatever, and let's say you start talking to him for a bit, and you might still think of him as a bum. I don't know, for whatever reason, like let's say you're at the bus stop, and like, oh shit, and he's just mumbling this, and he goes, "I'm sorry, man. I went out and had a little bit too much fun. I'm just getting home to my I had a horrible weekend. I lost my job, and I'm so sorry, man. I know I fucking I know I smell like shit, and I'm sorry. My name's Bill. I'm sorry, man. I'm not gonna shake your hand because I'm just gonna get on this bus, and hopefully they won't fuck with me, and or whatever. Like, you might still think of him as fucking,
Yeah, but you're not scared of him anymore.
Yes, and you have more of an idea. So the idea changes. If your ideas don't change, that's where the problem comes in. You can make generalizations. I can make generalizations all I want. It's my thoughts, my mind. But if your ideas do not change upon getting more information about that person, then that's when the real problem is.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. So if you get like I said, the dumb white guy. Well, this guy never really proved himself. He kind of always stayed dumb in my mind because after he can't work the gate, now he's driving around the complex like a fucking retard. So it's like, dude. It's who's buried in Grant's tomb. The clubhouse is right in front of you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So in my mind, he's still a dumb fuck.
Yep. So he's still so basically, how long did it take him to get to where he needed to be?
I'd say about 5 to 10 minutes. After they drove around the complex, and Steve's calling me. He's like, "Now where are you?" And I'm like, "Dude, when you first pull in, you park in front of the clubhouse."
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Well, I don't know why he couldn't get the gate to work." And I'm like, "I know why. He was fucking stupid."
To anybody else, anybody out there? What the hell?
What's that?
I don't know. That was some. The one thing about this is it gives me notices. I know what's going on here.
It's a pop-up thing.
It's fucking Facebook.
You want to? That you have a notification. Flooby dooby. Yeah, gotta love that.
Something like that. So let me. I actually forgot that this screen was on. Actually, I want to read this real quick.
Oh, okay.
Because I think you'll dig this, and I think it kind of goes with what we were talking about assuming. Now, this is almost like this is from Mike Edwards, and this is like the shit this is like the cited McJesus Bible, dude. Is in what I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I don't know if he wrote this himself. If he did, it's brilliant, or if he got it somewhere else. So you may have heard this already, but here's 17 easy ways to make a blind person's day. Okay?
All right.
Number 1, when introducing yourself, use loud, exaggerated speech. Since we're blind, it's safe to assume we're a little dim, too. Number 2, don't speak directly to us. It's always best to talk over our heads like we're not there at all, especially if you're offering a service. Example, what would she like to order? Be sure to ignore our attempts to answer for ourselves. Number 3, grab or otherwise manipulate our bodies whenever and wherever you deem necessary. For example, if you intuitively perceive that we're going the wrong way, even if you haven't asked where that is, just snatch the nearest limb and lead on. Number 4, if you aren't in a position to grab us, you can always shout instructions in the hope that we'll know what you're talking about. If we look baffled, just keep repeating the instructions in an increasingly frantic tone.
This is fucking awesome.
We'll clue in eventually. Number 5, remind us often how grateful we should be that people are willing to provide accommodations for us. While it's unlikely they will ever forget this for more than 5 minutes at a time, it's a good idea to slam the thought home when we're not expecting it. It builds character. Number 6, stage loud conversations about us while we're in the room. Because we won't hear. If we hear, it's okay, because we won't understand. If we understand, it's okay, because we won't care. Number 7, keep all conversation firmly focused on blindness. If we try to interject by discussing our education or interests, just redirect us. We get carried away trying to be all normal, so it's helpful to keep us on track. Number 8, be sure to describe all the other blind people you've ever met in extravagant detail. We couldn't be more fascinated by that blind guy who skied, and that other blind guy who went to school with you, and that blind girl you met on the train once, the one with the cute puppy. Number 9, make a habit of asking us why we're here. If we're on the bus, ask us why we're out alone. If we're at work, ask us how we got the job. If we're in class, ask us why we're in university. If we seem offended, ignore us. Deep down inside, we really enjoy presumptuous interrogation. Number 10, dispense advice about how we should live our lives. The less you know us, the more valuable your feedback will be. If you need a good starting point, you can begin by analyzing our mobility tool of choice, cane or dog, and emphatically demanding that we switch. We love that. Number 11. Involve yourself in our love lives, specifying exactly the type of person we should date and why. If you think we should date a sighted person because they'll be able to take care of us, we'll want to hear all about it. If you think we should date a blind person because we should stick to our own kind, we'll be all ears. Number 12. Give us things. Money, coupons, whatever, because you pity us and want to make our day better. Don't be fazed by any apparent expressions of confusion. Oh, that's just my gratitude face. Number 13. Stop us on the street and thank whomever we're with for helping, taking care of, being so kind to us. It's not as though we have real friends who genuinely enjoy our company. No. If we're out with a sighted person, they are fulfilling a purely charitable role. They will appreciate your praise, and we will feel extra, extra grateful. We're 14. Place your hands on us in any public place and pray. If we gently explain that we don't want to be prayed for, rest assured that it's just the secular cynicism doing the talking. When our sight is miraculously restored, you'll be the first to know. Number 15. Make as many potentially dangerous practical jokes as you can think of. A few good ideas include warning us of imaginary obstacles. Watch out for that tree, just kidding. Concealing our possessions. And encouraging us to find you while you run gleefully around us in circles. These were a staple of primary school, and I treasure many pleasant memories from that era.
I think that was him.
Do me a favor and bring back the nostalgia. Number 16. Refer to us as that blind person, even after you know our names. Blindness is so integral to our identities that our names are really just decorative. So there's no need to remember or use them. If we fail to answer to "Hey, blind girl guy," just keep trying. We'll learn to love it. And number 17. Assume that our default status is help. If we reassure you that we're okay, thanks. Don't fall for it. Insisting upon rescuing us every time we cross paths places us into a position of dependence, which is exactly where we belong.
Wow. Dude, I'm going to share that.
Yes, you have to.
I
have to share it too. I actually asked if he responded. It was in one of my groups, but it's a decent group, so I had to cut and paste. I don't know where it was, but
oh, it's from a group that he's in. Okay, that's cool.
Still, well, because, and a lot of that's you know
that arouses. That's two things actually. I was going to say from what you were reading. One was like you said, taking possessions. The Kraken one day. We were at McDonald's, and I guess he thought it'd be funny to grab one of my apple pies. And I was like, hey, dude, don't fucking do that. And he was like, why, man? I'm just fucking with you. You know, he didn't understand. Well, once I broke it down, he was cool with it. And I had to tell him, dude, you don't just fucking, snatch something from me. And, and sometimes I got to stop him with that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And so, the reason that is, and let's get this straight, is because he feels so comfortable with you.
Yeah, I know.
That he feels it's okay. It's not going to be a problem. That just he knows he knows that I think of him as an individual. But
right.
It's the same thing as if you're like watch out, like that kind of stuff. It's the same.
Yeah, it is. It's the same kind of thing. Because if I was sighted, he wouldn't play that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why it's like. So I had to tell him to stop. I said, especially with food, man. You can't you learned that, man, when we were roommates. Remember, I was eating some chips and you grabbed the chips out of my hand and you kind of laughed at first. Then you're like, oh shit, dude, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
You kind of caught yourself a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's because even anybody will do that. Even I would do that once in a while. Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, but you know what? We had another. What I was going to say too, kind of the sighting McJesus. When I was out with Kraken. We were at Wiener Schnitzel. I posted about this on Facebook, so you might have seen it.
Oh, yes, that motherfucker who walked up to you and said, like, it's great you're getting out. Like, we've all had that experience.
Well, what he did, first he goes up to Kraken, and he says, can I talk to your friend? Real low. And we both didn't hear him. We were like, huh? Because he kind of mumbled. It was an old guy. And so we asked him to repeat himself. So he goes, can I talk to your friend? And so that's when I pipe up, and I said, well, if you got to talk to me, you speak directly to me. And then of course, like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. And he grabs my hand and he's squeezing it, dude. It was like it was kind of rapey, dude. I didn't really like it. And he's like, I think you're a beautiful person. and I'm a senior citizen. I have beginning stages of dementia and all this other kind of, well, like that wasn't evident, but anyway, he's going on and on about, it's good that I'm getting out, and he's
We all heard this. That's why I laughed so hard when I heard that, because man.
Oh, and then he says to me, "You must be a business person," because the way I was dressed, I was actually corped up because we had an event that day. And I said, "Nah, man, I work for," I told him what I did, and he was like, "Oh, well, that's still good. Good you're doing that." And I remember when he walked away, Kraken was just totally perplexed, like, wow. The analogy he used was, it would be like listening to a Klan member babble their, racism about how they want to hang niggers from trees and all that kind of shit, and just going, what? That guy thinks that way? Like, there are people like that? You know what I mean? It's so befuddling, I guess.
Like now, and it does bring up an interesting point, that thing about the pie. Just to go back to just for a second.
To that. Oh yeah.
Just because it's that line you've got to straddle, and it's a hard line. It's because you don't want to be like, hey, don't do that again, man. Please don't do that, because you don't want it to bring it about your blindness again. But
right, like,
in that
that's
situation, in terms of taking possessions and doing that kind of thing, it's almost like that's where the line gets crossed, right? Where
yeah.
Because on one end you're like, I know he's just doing it because he feels comfortable with me, and it has nothing. It's almost like it has something to do with your blindness, but it also doesn't, because it's almost like you fuck with somebody because of who they are. It's like
right,
it's like pushing buttons. It's like me going, hey Max, man, you're doing a great job. And I was like, but I'm fucking with you. But that kind of thing, it's almost like a power thing. And I think that's why. I think it's because it's like crossing that, and it's an interesting line to cross, because like I said, you don't want to draw attention. Hey, this is something you wouldn't do that if I were sighted. Almost like you wouldn't say it if I were sighted. But it's also like almost like one of the few things that you can't do to cross that line, for you at least. And it might, for others, it might not be as big of a problem. But I don't think that's the case, though. I think with almost every blind person I know, that would be the problem. Like when someone would like smack me on the head on my blind side, my first thing is to punch him in the fucking face. Like I think you've heard me say that before. Like,
oh yeah, well it's taking advantage of something is what I see it as, and like you said, it's a power deal. And he still kind of fucks with me a little bit about it. He's like, I know how much of a bitch you are about your food, or something like that. And I'm like,
because the way he sees it, and let's talk about this, because this is very interesting in my opinion. It goes beyond just blindness. It goes to other things, because if you were sighted, he would fuck with you in some other way. Like you fuck with him sometimes about things, right?
Oh, we always fuck with each other. Oh God, yeah.
But there's an off limits point on some things now. So that means you would have to give him some leeway with off limits about other things, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody has boundaries.
So it's a personal thing. So in other words, I guess it doesn't have anything to do with your blindness necessarily. It's almost like a personal thing. Like it does have to do with your blindness.
Yeah. Well, the way I look at it is kind of like you were saying. Well, would you play like that with me if I was sighted? Probably not. That's the whole reason. It's like, oh, I'm going to take his pie, and he's not going to know it until he goes to reach for it. It's not like I saw him reach for the pie.
I guess that's true. He's kind of. It's almost like bringing Stark, almost like bringing it to like, hey, that like fucking with you in a way that it makes you feel kind of helpless, right?
Yeah, exactly. Almost like, damn, or kind of punking me out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But even though I know that's not his intent, but this is how I react when people do those kind of things, and I'd rather them not do it.
But in some other ways, though, you would. Well, I guess. Because I guess where I'm going with this is friends, especially dude friends, guy friends. They just kind of they fuck with each other. Just the way.
Like what? I would never take. I might say shit to fuck with him, but I would never take anything from him, or I would never hide anything on him. I don't. I don't do that shit to people.
So I think it's and I think I think the bottom line is that it involves your eyesight or your lack of eyesight, but I think it's more of a personal thing. Like there's certain things I wouldn't want. I don't like to be fucked with. Like there's certain things. Obviously, like I guess you're right. If someone took my keys and like hid them from me, and I was looking for them and I couldn't find them, I got them here. I'd be like,
you'd cuss them out probably, wouldn't you?
I would. Keys. What are you wasting time, dude? Just give me them.
Yeah, and there you go. That's the
like,
thing too. It's like, such a stupid.
Yeah, it's
it's one thing to rip on each other and make fun of each other for shit, and that's cool. I don't mind that at all. But for other stuff, like something as stupid as, oh, I took your pie. Like, really? Do you need to do that?
But then again, man, there are some people who don't like to be fucked with verbally too.
Oh, yeah. Well, then you have to respect those boundaries. But I just, for myself,
yeah.
as an individual, again, going back to like you said, as an individual, those are things that bother me. I don't know what bothers everyone else, but the shit that bothers me is when you take things from me.
And I'm wondering if, because this is where I'm going with this, because it's where you draw the line, though. Because some people can say, well, my boundaries are, I don't want you to say the N-word around me because I don't like it.
Well, one boundary that I've respected around him is I don't make too many gay jokes around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, oh, that's homoeronious or anything like that, just because I know it's kind of hits home for him. You know what I'm saying?
It's a personal thing. Yeah.
Because of family and stuff like that. So, I try to keep the gay jokes to a minimum. Matter of fact, that's why I haven't told him about the whole Dicka thing.
Ah, okay.
But that's why I haven't really let him in on that. I mean, I think I'd love to tell him about it, but I don't know how he would react.
Well,
like,
would
he say,
you might have to ask about it.
Yeah. But, I know a lot of times, like, he's very big on, well, I mean, shit, dude. Also with the sexism thing, like, my animal and object names, he always gives me shit and says, oh, yeah, it's not sexist. Right. Uh-huh. Okay. So he's kind of big on that. So I stay away from that stuff if I can.
I guess. But for me, I guess that's the line you have to draw. That's the where do you draw the line, though? Because a lot of people, I'm talking about not on an individual level, is that people branch that out, like where everyone has to be like that. Well,
that's the problem. There's where the generalization gets bad when you say you shouldn't generalize, because obviously not everybody's the same. The things that might piss me off may not piss off Mike Edwards. Or you, or what I'm saying.
But I guess my point is that everyone has boundaries. But so if someone's in a Taco Bell, whatever, and they hear you saying homeronian or whatever, and they get offended by it and tell you to be quiet, and you don't know them, you're like, leave me the fuck alone, right? Or would that be the boundary? Is that their boundary? Like, does that boundary cross? Is that an individual boundary between you and other people you know well? Because I don't mind that. I think that's where I would stop it. Is like if I'm talking on a table and I'm saying some shit, and I'm just babbling about stuff, so you need to be quiet. I'll be like, mind your own fucking business.
Well, yeah. If somebody's telling you to be quiet for someone else's benefit, then that's one thing. Then you're like, mind your own goddamn business. But if it's like, hey, I'm very offended by what you're saying, then oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. By the way, Jerkman just texted me, so if you want to bring him in, we
really?
can.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what happens here. All right. Let's see what I can do here.
See if we can get the Jerkster on the line and see what he can contribute to this. What kind of shit?
Invite to a group call.
So yeah, man, I think it's you don't want to generalize, too much of, oh, well, that makes that blind person mad, it's going to make this one mad too, or vice versa. I mean, hell, there's black people who tell black jokes.
Let's see. I've got Jerkman. I don't know if he's there or not. I don't think so. I'm calling him.
Okay. Let's see if we can get him here.
Let's see if we can. Uh-oh.
Is it coming?
Oh. Is he? Oh, call failed.
You got him?
No, call failed. Let's see.
All right. Goddamn Jerkman. Him and his wonderful internet there.
So I'm trying to add him to the, I should be able to add him to it. Let's see.
The conversation somehow.
Let's try it again.
Loving technology, man. Loving and technology. And you know what? We don't give a fuck. This is our show.
Yeah,
so
and we're running on the shoestring budget, basically no budget.
We'll suck up time if we want to, god damn it.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to hear this part of it, fast forward the goddamn video.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I might start doing that annotating. I am calling him, so.
All right. So let's see if we can get one. Oh, I heard something. Was that you?
Nope.
No.
There he is.
That was Cruz.
Man.
Oh my God! It's Jerkman. You're on.
Oh,
kind
it's
of?
Jerkman.
Are you kind of
back
on
from
here?
the dead.
Huh?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, kinda.
Kind of.
There we go. Hearing much better now.
Oh, you have to turn up your volume here.
No,
Yeah.
actually, my battery in my knee was going out, and I tapped it a couple times.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Are you on a battery that's going out? By the way, Jerkman, welcome to the fucking program.
Nothing
We're talking
sacred.
about
Fuck.
identity and shit like that, and just different things. Um, so talking about. Can you hear
General.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
us? Okay, because it's weird. I'm seeing on your. Oh no, wait, that's better. Okay, so cool. You're good. We actually got this set up so we can actually play music and videos and shit like that. And I found a fucking video, dude.
Uh-huh.
That's fucking terrible, man.
Why is it terrible?
What's wrong with it?
I wanted.
You just gonna play it for us?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see
So
what
we're
we
gonna be
get.
able to hear this, right?
Yep, this should come through your speakers too,
You should actually.
My speakers. I only got one. What am I supposed
or
to have?
your ear. Oh, okay, or your headphone, or
It should-
whatever
it
you're
should
using
come-
there.
Hold on a second here.
All right. What was that? Something's talking.
That's me, actually, huh?
Oh no, I just heard a voice. Maybe it was my phone.
Yeah, here,
sure you
dude. This is the dumbest motherfucker I've ever met, dude.
Okay,
Which one?
play this one.
We're at 3, so that means we're recording. Or at least I am.
Listen
Yeah,
to
Oh,
Fuck.
this fucking guy.
This
Oh
guy.
God.
possibly.
Who the fuck is this, dude?
I got no clue.
This guy's a
Yeah.
dumbass, dude.
But if you
Some
heard
weirdo
me
that
say
smokes cigarettes in his house and like rants about shit all fucking day.
I guess it's going over and over the same thing. We do this all day. But I'm
Can you hear that, Jerkman?
Yeah, I actually can.
Yeah.
Sounds like an idiot
Sounds
though.
like an asshole.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know why you subscribe to the guy, but
I'm sorry. I had to say that, dude. It's good. I'm actually, dude. I actually need to get that subscription on YouTube. First of all, you have that thing. It's called that's. You're so full of it. You do that all the time, right?
Yep.
I mean, I listen to some of the videos on your page. Now, I was going to ask you. I don't know. We can talk about other things, like what else you're doing, what's going on with you now, man. If you want to promote anything, fuck it. You can.
oh yeah, you look
throw it
like
out
you got
there,
some
man.
new shows coming up.
I mean, if you want to. If not, then
Yeah. Yeah, I got some different things coming up. Working over there with Lindy Studios, and we're actually working on some different projects together, and actually going to try to utilize both of our things back and forth together. That works as a team sort of effort.
Oh,
well, that's cool.
That's
But
cool.
is that you're so full? Is that that's on a YouTube page too, right?
Yeah, actually, I started moving them up to the YouTube page. I mostly have left them on my Facebook, which is
Yeah.
one of the newer things I've been doing, which is I can upload large files into Facebook.
Yeah, because I
And,
noticed that because when I look on those things, it doesn't have a lot of times. Well, any time that you link from YouTube, it actually has the YouTube link you can go to, while yours are just embedded in the Facebook page, basically. Right?
yeah. See,
Yeah.
that's the thing because I was going to your YouTube page for a while looking for those, and they weren't coming. I'm like, well, where the fuck
Well, no,
are
it
they?
actually makes more sense though if he wants to just put them on straight up on YouTube. So, but
Yeah.
I
they're
think it should.
pretty
You
good.
get more people that way.
Well, yeah, right. It depends.
Oh, which reminds me, since you
Mhm.
guys are my Mahas, my Machines Against Humanity advocates, and Jerkman, you'll know who this is right away when I start telling the story. But I'm
Okay.
talking to him and I'm telling him about the new show and what Cruise Control and I are doing and whatever. And he says to me, "That's really good, man. But if you really want to get your listener base up, you
Okay,
got to
we
get
go.
on iTunes."
Really? So a podcast is the way to go, is what they're telling you.
That's what he says. Yeah, get on iTunes. And I'm like, well, isn't that only limited to those who are using Apple? And he's like, well, yeah, but you can also get a Google Play app. And I'm like, yeah, that's just such a pain in the ass. I'd rather have it universal for everybody. And so that's why we use
What you
YouTube.
should really do is also, while you're at it, why don't you take some of your recordings and see if you can find an 8-track to put them on?
Oh, that's a great idea. Does anybody convert to 8-track nowadays?
Should. I
Yes.
mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that does it, I think.
Well, here's my thing. I am not an Apple person.
I don't.
I can't
either.
stand the idea of iTunes and because I mean it's why the reason I like Android and Google stuff is because it seems more open source. Like any
Oh,
of these, like Apple, it's all about their stuff. Like iTunes,
It's all
like,
proprietary with Apple. They want you to buy all of their bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
So-
what I'm saying. It's all exclusive to the Apple user. You know what I'm saying? Where, oh, great, you're on iTunes. Okay, all the Apple users can hear you. Okay, well, what about the people using Windows? Then you cut them out. So, why not just put shit on YouTube?
It becomes an issue of control because they control all the content, and that's what they want to do. They want to control all the content you can get, so you have to get that through them. That's why iTunes. You can get iTunes without a Mac or an Apple. You can go on there and you can get an account and you can download and buy songs from there and you can play them on your PC.
Yeah, actually, I have that on my PC now. It's just
A
QuickTime.
lot of people do. QuickTime, yes, whatever. You have to download their little app and then you can play it on your PC and you can
Yep.
play their proprietary fucking because they have proprietary file systems that allow them to play. You can do that if you want, and a lot of people do, because it's iTunes. I mean, everybody has iTunes, right? Or they they have an iPad like from 19 or not iPad. What is it? What is the fucking iPod? The
iPod. Well, there's iPads too.
Well, yeah, whatever. But the point is, they have something. A lot of people have Apple, and that's what they want. They're so. I think Apple's going to really start hitting a wall, and they've already kind of hit it a little bit in terms of Android denting into it, and Google and other platforms that don't offer proprietary services. Is that there are so many Apple users that right now they're not feeling it, but my gut tells me that they are going to start feeling it because it's not going to be open source or able to be used on every device.
Well, if you take a good look at their stocks keep fluctuating hugely, and that's a bad sign.
So one day they're up really high, and the next day they're really down.
Yeah, they were one of the first ones to start dropping down when the stock started crashing, and everybody thought that they would be the first to, at least one of the last to do it. But actually, what's going on? Steve Jobs died from his cancer. He was the one that saved their ass in the beginning after them screwed him out of his own goddamn company. Mm-hmm. So, they brought him back to save him. And what he did, he brought out the iPad and the iPhone and whatever else, and now that he's died, they're trying to go in the same direction. You have to have somebody there that's creative enough to do it and not followers. And they got more followers, obviously. If not, they wouldn't have needed Steve Jobs back. And that's exactly what happened.
And I don't think I'm not in any delusionary state where saying, well, Apple's going to die. They're going to fucking fail right away, because they won't. And the reason they won't is that they're smart in one way. They have a loyal fan base who all their file shit, all their history, all their and that's what a company wants. They want you to be so invested in their shit. Like Steam. An example is Steam. There's a program called Steam. It's a game library program where I can download games and get games and stuff. Now there's other companies.
My nose itches. What the hell does that mean?
That means you're smelling some pussy.
Really? So
there is something about money, isn't it? When your nose itches.
Oh. Shit, it's really itching. I'm gonna get a load of fucking money then.
Something like that. If your nose itches, you're gonna get some money. I think.
My ass itches right now. What does that mean?
That means you're gonna get pounded.
That means you're gonna get a Red Lobster discount.
Oh.
Which, by the way, did you see my other dig at you the other day where I said you're on top of it like it's Jeremy or something like that?
No, I didn't get to see that one.
I commented on something and I was like, yeah, that's for the Red Lobster joke, you fucker.
No, my fucking Facebook's been all like screwed up and shit. But yeah, going back to that, the other thing of it is the whole idea about this is there's just so many open sources right now that everything's going on that the people are starting to self-tweaking everything themselves with the customized devices. So actually, Apple and everything have a lot to play up with this to keep it running. So, and there's what the problem is once you open that open source to a lot of people, you start getting a lot of developers that will pull out ahead and start creating their own major companies. And from that gives Apple more competition. There's where Apple screwed up.
And I think Apple's gonna suffer from a slow bleed. It's gonna be a very slow bleed.
It will.
I don't see anybody. I don't know anybody who's like, I'm going to switch to Apple anymore, right? Everybody's like switching away from Apple, but it's like I said, it's like this game program called Steam. Like I said, I play these games and I download them from this service, and I have this app, and there's other apps that come out called like GOG and some other apps, Glyph. But basically, what they do is they allow you to download games and buy games from them, and you download them, they update automatically. You don't have to do shit. But I'm not using them, because I already have 40 games and all my friends list and everything on Steam. Now, so at some point down the line, I might switch over if everyone else kind of bleeds off. And that's what I think is going to happen with Apple, is that there's so many people that are invested. They have all their iTunes. They have the fucking $10 a month, anything you want plan on iTunes, whatever. Or they have something else going on with the Apple apps or something where they're so invested that they can't leave.
Right. It's stuff you're locked in now, because if you decide you want to switch, then it's like, oh, well, guess what? You're not going to get the iTunes. You're not going to get the this. You're going to lose all the music. You're going to lose all your pictures. You're going to lose, Yeah. So you're right.
One of the things that they don't realize and people don't know is that they play Apple up as being the biggest seller right now. It actually is not. Google has overtaken Apple about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So there's more people right now, and there's more tablets than there are pads. Like they're putting out more Google tablets in schools and in every area that you're looking at in workplaces than they are Apple anymore. Apple's trying to push them into schools right now, trying to keep up with Google as the competitor, but Google's kicking ass right now with Android.
And the reason they're kicking ass is because they're saying, all right, we're giving you this, here's the operating system, make a phone for it.
Make whatever you want with it and do it.
Samsung, Nokia, all these places are just making phones for it. It's like the Windows operating system, make a computer for it. Now Apple is all about Apple. Apple has to make everything, and it's so controlled that it's kind of biting them in the ass right now a little bit.
Well, it's kind of bleeding over into the blindo world too, because every blindo has an iPhone.
Well, see, my
blindo has an iPhone.
My thing is I think that they self-predicted this a long time ago. You take a good look at the Apple emblem, and what is this? A big chunk taken out of it with a bite. I think that was Google.
Oh,
it might be.
Yeah, I think
there's too much of the Apple left. I'm just not an Apple person, so
I never was.
I don't
Apple's
like
not my thing.
I just don't like the proprietary nature of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you got to have Apple to do this. You got to have Apple. It's very exclusive almost. I'd rather have something that's universal.
Well, you remember, Max, when I was first building the tab casting thing, I tried Apple, and Apple blocked every goddamn thing I tried to do.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were having some issues with the Apple.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't understand this. And what it would do was it would block everything I was trying to do. When I got hold of the Android base, it was more open and free to do what you needed to. So I was able to connect different things in and test them out and make it work the way I needed it to. So obviously, I went out and bought 100 freaking pads. When I could have went out and or tablets, and I could have bought a bunch of pads of Apple if it would have worked.
Well, was that time of month for you then?
And think about that. Those are expensive as it is. Yeah. Apple is way more expensive.
That's actually another thing. And like Cruz said, they made it affordable for people to get the tablets. They let anybody that wanted to, that could create one, use their base to put it on their tablets. So right there, that got more to the people quicker and cheaper.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Instead of this, you could spend the extra money, but think it's worth it. And you're just like, well, not really, because, it's, like we said, very exclusive to those who have Apples. You're kind of like cutting yourself out.
Yep. That's what they want, because that's what they wanted to market clinch on that. And they're going to have that for a while. I'm not under any delusions about Apple. They are going to have their people who are stuck with Apple, because people will just buy it. They'll be like, oh, it's Apple. It's simple. I know it. I'm going to keep using it.
No, and that's
like,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's kind of like the crack. Somebody had made an analogy that, people act like Apple's like crack to them. You know what I'm saying? Like they get really defensive when you put down Apple, the Apple users.
I don't even think it's that. It's a brainwashed society. Bottom line is they sold Apple as being like they did Starbucks. It's great to be, you're part of the crowd. If you're getting this, you're part of the elite, you're part of this, you're part of that. And that's the image they put out. So everybody that's brainwashed and will follow that will continue to follow that. They'll think the minute they're going out and buying the first Apple thing coming out, they've got the best of the best and everybody's going to admire them. And they've got, they got class, they've got this, they've got that. You can go to fucking Dunkin' Donuts and buy the same fucking coffee you get at Starbucks for half the goddamn price.
Right, but because it's Starbucks, yes.
It's Starbucks, of course. You got to be sipping down and be a yuppie skip knuckle to be down there fucking on your computer and acting like you're,
I like that. A yuppie skip knuckle. Yeah. That's what I'm going to start calling those people, yuppie skip knuckles. The ones.
Yeah, they're down there. They're the little knuckles all over the damn computers and shit all damn day long, and they're trying to look important. And they're probably in there fucking playing some goddamn Dungeons and Dragons or something.
Hey, what's wrong with Dungeons and Dragons?
Some nerd. Hey, you know what? Cruise Control's got me into a game. Have you seen that? We've been playing.
Hell is gonna fucking freeze over.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it will now.
We actually have a game we're playing. It's called Divinity: Original Sin. We're on episode 4.
Oh wait, hey, tell him my character's name. We had to build our characters.
His character's name is Cecilia.
Oh my fucking god!
And okay, here. Let me tell you something. So you play these games, right? Obviously, Jerkman. So you played this game before. So you have to. Of course, you played. It's an RPG. It's not. It's a regular. It's called Divinity: Original Sin. If you have an Xbox One or a PS4.
Yeah, I actually played the original. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game for the computer. It's great. So we're playing the newer version, the enhanced edition, and so you know how these games work. You got to put armor on your legs, your arms, your head,
and your
feet, right? And your feet. Now,
Don't tell me he wants us to be barefoot because it's a chick.
Yep, that's just
How
what
did
I did.
fucking know?
I'm
Matter
like,
of fact,
it
there was
is
a
so.
part where she got some shoes, and I was like, no, I don't want her to have shoes.
Stop. We don't want no extra armor.
No, you know what? I'm like, dude, wait. There's a +1 on strength. No, I don't care. She's not wearing shoes. I'm like, all right, dude.
Well, you know what? You got to remember too. Some martial artists are barefooted. A lot of martial artists are barefooted. So
Wait a minute.
maybe.
No. Before I get any deeper into this conversation, Max, what are you wearing right now?
Oh, I'm wearing clothes, man. I got
Okay.
I got my shirt on. The Braille one.
Yeah, because I listened to the first one where you're fucking sitting there butt ass naked with your ass stuck to the damn leather chair.
Yeah,
That was great.
Yeah,
No, I'm wearing clothes tonight.
Why?
Man. It's all good.
Thank you for reminding me of that, Jerkman. I really appreciate
You're welcome.
that.
Hey, what am I here for? Right?
Dude,
Well,
you know,
it should be a don't ask, don't tell. You know, I wouldn't have.
hard on. No, you didn't. Wait.
No, it should be a don't sit, don't smell.
Wait. No one asked you last time what you were wearing, dude.
Well, that's true.
It's not like I went, "Hey, Max, thanks for the show. It's our first. What are you wearing?" You know, you went, "Hey, guys, I'm butt naked, motherfucker."
Well, you know what? It was to show, I guess, that I was like, I'm at home. I can do what the fuck I want, and it's kind of fun.
That's kind of fun. Yeah, so you can.
You want the freedom of the nuts.
The freedom of the nuts.
I
So your
did.
nuts
It
can
felt
hang
good
out.
too. Yeah, my balls free, and
Balls free and hanging, man.
Sure it was. So you have no shoes on your fucking character because now does this get you fucking off or something or?
Well, yeah, it's kind of Jackham's.
Yeah.
The fact that here's this female character because we were thinking about it. He's like, be thinking about your character, and I said, okay. And he goes, well, who do you want to? I said, I think I'm going to be a female. And he's like, oh yeah, okay. And then that's when I gave her the name Cecilia, and then she was she started out barefooted, I think, though, because we're listening to the game, and when she walks, it sounds like she's barefooted. So I'm like, I think she's barefooted. And then at one point, she was supposed to get some shoes, and I said, no.
Yep, and so no armor, and that's for me. It's like, wait, but she could be protected. I'm just glad we're playing on easy mode because we wouldn't be able to play otherwise. Because it's part of the reason I did, because I figured he'd be doing crazy shit like this.
Putting shoes on her is only going to give you a 10 plus or whatever. Even if what little it does give you is going to give you more fucking protection.
You're a little bit muffled there. Did you hear that?
Yeah, well, yeah, you were a little muffled there for a second.
I was.
Yeah, you're still kind of muffled. Were you laying down?
No.
Oh, there you go. There you're good.
Is that better?
Yeah.
The phone sideways, so maybe that was it.
Were you laying down,
Oh, yeah.
Jerkman?
Got to be careful of that.
Yeah, we're on the ground. Were you laying on the floor?
Maybe he's
My
fucking,
cat comes on thinking about his fucking armorless bitch.
yeah. Thinking about her being barefooted and battling
So
fucking.
I have to remember that I'm not trying to stat. I'm not trying to gear my characters. I got to be like, all right, this is for artistic purposes here. It's very hard for me to be like, why aren't you wearing the fucking +5? You get 20 armor from those. He's like, no. I'm like, But
well,
check
part
that
of
out,
it is
Jim.
too. You want to
What the
get me
fuck does this
into.
do
You
for
want to
you?
get me to like the game.
So
Oh, yeah.
what does this do for you? Because you hear her feet squishing through shit, it like makes you want to play it more?
All right, I'll be back in just a moment, guys.
Okay. No, I think it's just the fact that it's a female and she's barefooted and she's badass while barefooted. So
she's a barefooted female, and that gets your rocks off.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, like she can fight.
You haven't jacked off over this yet, have you?
I have.
You have, haven't you? You sick fuck.
Yeah, I have. I'm not gonna lie.
Over the video game? Oh my god.
Well, because you build a character in your mind, and you hear her talk through the game. There's things you can make her say, and like it'll give us selections. Like, do you want to say, I don't care who kills the band. I want to know, where Ben Blaklia is, or all kinds of other weird little things that you can say. And so I'll say, let's say this.
So you can listen to her fucking squishing on stuff, and then you turn it off and go in and go, oh god, that was fucking hot.
Well, you save it in the spank bank. So then later, when it's nighttime, time for jackums, then you can jack yourself into oblivion and pass out.
Pass out in it.
And that's all you do, man.
You know what? I told you, what's going to happen, right? I don't care if I'm dead and gone, I'm going to stand above or at least float above the nursing home that you're going to be in as they beat the living shit out of you.
Yeah?
You'll be trying to talk to the nurses and talking them into taking their shoes off and shit, and someone's gonna, yeah, it's coming. I see it.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I can see myself totally doing that.
Oh, so can I.
You know, like, hey, are you wearing shoes right now? You know, because these are the things I think about.
Well, I think most women find that attractive, though, in a kind of roundabout, fucked up way.
Well,
I think
because anything that turns, they think that they're fucking with you or turning you on, they're probably going to do it more,
Yeah, I think but I think a lot of women actually like to have their toes sucked on after a hard day's work. I think they like to go to like waitresses and stuff like that because their toes are so their feet hurt.
Oh,
so
yeah.
After they're done, they've been in the socks all day long in them stinky shoes. They want you to take them home, peel it off of their feet because of all the moisture and that's there. And they pretty much want you to lick the crud off.
Well, and some may like that shit for real.
And you'd be like, marry me, probably, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, though.
It's very possible. Well, a lot of chicks.
It is.
Oh, Jesus God. Okay. All right. Speaking of people in bare feet, all right, who have sweaty, disgusting, broken bare feet, I'm going to go ahead and redirect the conversation here for a second because I want to get you guys' opinion on this.
Okay.
Talked about this. What do you think about the refugee situation? And this is where I was going with the whole identity thing because people were like, not all Muslims are like this, and I'm like, true. But Muslims are the ones who are blowing the fuck out of shit and killing people. So, we have to let these refugees in. I'm kind of like, I don't really know what to think about that at this point because at one point I'm like, all right, we can why would you? It's going to take 18 months for them to be vetted anyways to come in here. Why don't we blow up some country like Syria, just take them over, and then put off cordon zones and have the refugees come back to their
dump
own
them
country
back there,
so that they can be in their own country and then why are we?
We all know what the fuck this is about. This has nothing to do with anything, but the fact is they're starting World War III. They want to go. This economy's collapsing, and the only way to get the economy back up is we all know it's war. War is the biggest. You're just trying to get me fucking started, aren't you?
You know what? You heard us last week, and now I think cruise control's outnumbered here.
Okay. And they're trying to. This is what they're doing. I mean, come on, Syria and everybody's after Syria right now. Why? They've got the biggest reserve right now of fucking oil. That's the only goddamn reason there. That's the only fucking reason we go to bomb any goddamn countries for their own natural resources. This is why we're there right now. That's why they're trying to take them out. They're going to distribute around. They've got more than one agenda going with this one. They get to distribute out all of the refugees. Okay, the refugees are Muslim. That's fine. Whether they're violent, not violent, doesn't matter because they're like, well, if we bring the refugees over here, there's going to be some ISIS put in there. What the fuck does that matter? We left our goddamn borders open for how fucking long? You don't think they get skipped across the border at that point in time? You think they had to just be boated in with a bunch of fucking refugees? Come on, use your fucking brain. But yeah, they're going to shoot them over here. And also keep in mind, this is also going to be a huge distraction. We got the elections coming up. What are these people going to be voting for? What do you think they're going to vote for? They're going to probably
go. Wants to go to war, man.
Yeah, they're also probably going to actually vote Democrat or whatever because they're allowing them to come back. They're allowing them to come over here and vote. I mean, why would you give refugees or anybody like that without any goddamn, without getting any,
without any citizenship?
Any citizenship or anything to vote, right? The only reason is because they're going to be grateful or happy to vote for whoever brought them in or allowed them to come in. This whole thing is nothing but a bunch of bullshit. They're trying to get our economy's ready to fucking fall apart, and when it does, everybody's going to feel it this time. It's not going to be a 2008. This is going to be worse than a Great fucking Depression. Everybody's going to feel this one in the ass hard, and they know it's coming. That's what they've been building up for. So you bring all the refugees over here. They're getting cheap labor at this point because these people are going to have to work doing something. So there you go. You got a bunch of people that are going to be they're going to be able to use the way they want to use.
If you want me to feed into this, they also breed mistrust among everyone because no one trusts each other, which is what they want. Right. Which is why they're having this whole Black Lives Matter, and why the Democrats are like, "Oh, Black lives do matter. Like we won't say any lives matter. We'll say Black Lives Matter." So basically, they're inflaming racial tensions between people.
Oh yeah, they want to seperate everybody. You can't work when you're separated.
Think about this: how many how many times are you ever going to go, okay, if you're going out and you're going to go do battle with somebody, is one person going to win, or is a bunch of people that are teamed up together going to do it? Of course, it's going to be the people that are teamed up together to go out and win it. Not saying that one person can't, but more than likely, you have a better chance if you're all teamed up. Now, if everybody hates one another, who's going to get the fuck together to even talk about any of this shit going on? I'm not going to talk to fucking Black Boy Johnson over there because I hate him because he's black.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm fucking white.
He's got white privilege, doesn't understand my plight.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny thing is, though, is that the masterful politicians on the Democratic side are artful at being able to pick out each individual group's biggest need. Oh, the black people, we're going to make sure that you're getting quotas and you're going to get, you're going to get more rights, and cops are going to be held accountable for. And you know what's funny is that you know how many white people are killed by cops each year?
Actually, the statistics are a lot higher than that.
It's a lot. There's a lot of white people killed by cops each year. No one gives a shit about that.
Focus on that because it's not a race issue.
It doesn't meet the stereotype or meet the expectations of those people. But beyond that, but my point is that the Democrats, and I've said this before, they are masterful at being able to get each individual group's thing and say, we'll help you with that. They never talk about general things to help everybody. It's always each individual's group. So therefore, so they've got all these
conservatives do that though too, man. They play up to
but their groups are they're not as they're more tolerant in some ways. You'd be surprised, but they're also more. There's only like one or two. Basically, it's Christians and maybe libertarians. I'm talking about like demographics, like groups, like your rights as a disabled person. Oh, they don't care about those rights. Those Republicans, we care about those rights. Oh, you're black. Oh, we care about you're gay. Oh, gay rights, gay marriage. That's why I'm Obama, and I changed my stance like in the middle of my presidency. But re-election, yay!
Well, the whole thing comes down to, think about this: when the elections came up last year, who was all running? Does everybody remember?
Well, we had Romney and we had Obama. Remember?
We had Romney, we had Obama, but who else was? We had Romney was the one before that.
No, Romney was the last
this
one.
past election. Yeah, that was Romney. Romney.
See,
and Obama.
see, they're all nameless, faceless. They're all.
Who was the other ones? We had the people that were actually running. Okay, not the ones that made it into the top part of the debates and everything, but we had Clinton, we had Kerry, we had John McCain. Right. Isn't it kind of fucked up that once Obama won, what the fuck? But they were all still appointed to the fucking cabinet anyhow, so they all fucking made it in. Yeah. What the fuck is the goddamn difference? Who does it matter who we made president and who's his fucking butt-ass buddy? It doesn't fucking matter.
And it's like Donald Trump now is like talking shit about Ben Carson, and Ben Carson talking about Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, and Ted Cruz. But when they get the nomination, Ted Cruz might be Marco Rubio's running mate. Yeah, we're telling each other losers because it's all a game. It's not even real.
That's it. It's all a game. It's all play. It's staged.
I mean,
you
think about
you know
it,
what? We keep all these people out there brainwashed enough to go out and go, you know what? I'm going to vote Republican. You know what? I'm going to vote Democrat because they got That's bullshit. None of those guys mean a fucking thing they say. They're all on the same goddamn fucking team. And you ain't getting nothing but what they're going to give you in the first fucking place.
See, I'm not as far away from the conspiracy stuff as you might think I am, guys. And the thing that I'm more concerned about is I'm not going to jump to conclusions either way. Like that was my big argument last week, was that Max was just like, well, it's just the government. I'm like, because I believe that there are fucking psycho religious groups out there, and I know they might have been helped or started by us, but the fact is these groups have been around for thousands of years.
Are you talking about ISIS?
ISIS and not ISIS, whatever extremist group you want to fucking name. All three of them, Al Qaeda. There's another one, whatever, something.
But I think there's all the puppets. They're all being used for this grand agenda.
I don't think they're being used. I think there's really people out there who are that, and they might be being used. They might have there might be some American guy out there going, all right, well, okay, like the leader of fucking ISIS might be calling Barack. All right, so what I want you to do is well, actually, you know what? I don't even think Barack. I think it's like deeper than that. I think the president's just a figurehead a lot of times. But let's just say it's Barack. You know, it's like, all right, well, you're the leader of ISIS, so well, what I want you to do today is I want you to go out and I want you to bomb a city.
Is this an impression of Barack Obama?
Yeah.
Okay, just check it.
It's a terrible impression. I don't give a shit. But that's the way he sounds to me. He's like, I'm Obama.
Actually, he talks more like this. Well, I'm Barack Obama, and I'd like to right now look at my cabinet and whip my black cock out and smack you in the head with it.
That's pretty good, dude.
Actually, he was good there.
Keep going, dude.
I'll tell you,
Hold on. Let's play a little game.
One thing you're going to have to realize
here's a call.
is that the Muslims.
Wait, here's a call.
Muslims are great people. Yes, hi.
Hello?
Is this Davey the
Hello?
Doom Coon? Hi, Davey. Listen, it's Barack Obama from America. Listen, what I want you to do is understand that in America, a lot of Christians hate you. Oh yeah. A lot of us hate you. Except for me, of course. I can understand where you're coming from. So what I'd like to do is I'd like you to you and a few of the other crazy Dune Coons, suicide bombers. I'd like you guys to go blow yourselves up and let's start a terrorist attack. What do you say? Oh yeah, we can start it. We'll find a good place. And now understand, we're going to be scapegoating you. We're going to be hating you guys, but that's nothing new because America hates Muslims because they're a racist fucking country and a very intolerant country at that. That's why I run it.
Yep. That's why you run it. It's so funny. We are an intolerant country. We are too tolerant in some ways.
Okay.
No, that's the shit.
That last thing. It sounded like a fucking chicken being choked.
That was definitely supposed to be. Dude, his name was Salama.
Blah, 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 or whatever you did.
Salama McNugget.
Salama McSlummy.
Salama McNugget. Nugget.
The whole thing is everybody's got to wake the fuck up. If they want this world and they want this they want the government, whether it's a single government, whether it's the fucking Illuminati, whether it's the fucking Bilderbergs, whether it's whoever. If they want this country and they want shit to straighten out, they've got to fucking wake up. Bottom goddamn line.
I'll give my only savior. It's my destruction of the world, but it's my savior, and that's technology. And the reason I say that is, obviously, we're going batshit on this stuff now. I mean, it's out of control. Our kids, the kids have no relationship to. I mean, we're getting these fucking crazy ass college kids. People thinking, oh, it's just college. Nah, we're fucked in some way. So hopefully, there's a place in the world that allow individual nation states. This is my crazy idea I've had. Okay, and think about it. This is a crazy cruise control idea, but in the future or sometime down the line, individual governments, in other words, in a state, individual state governments under a national law. In other words, each individual is their own government.
Well, that would mean
what United States was supposed to be.
It probably was back before, but I'm talking about being able to connect with your own. Maybe you'll have a generalized overlay, but individuals. That is the way it was supposed for libertarians as individuals as government in a way. But now with more actual technological ways to make that more apparent and more, because before it was I am my own government, blah blah blah. But now we can actually have where we're always on our own domains. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds great. It sounds great, but I don't think they'd ever let it fly because then they couldn't have the power, man. This shit's all about power, dude.
Of course, but that's how. But the one thing about the technology that we have right now, and is that there's a chance that it can turn to something where individual resources are power, because we all have more resources to look into things than we did before, which is also the dangerous part. Because everyone, I guess I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say here.
No, I know what you're trying to say, but the whole thing comes down to is the technology is great, but it's more of a double-edged sword than anything else.
Yes,
because with technology, I mean, you can try to break out, you can get information, you can get all kinds of shit, but the problem with it is actually the dark web has got better information than the top 10% of what we really scam off of the internet, which nobody even knows that 90% of the internet isn't actually what you were seeing. You're actually seeing 10% of the internet. Really, what's down there is called the dark web. And that's where all the real information lies. But if you try to go down into that, you can. But you can make yourself anonymous going through it. But if you don't know the right ways of doing it and everything, you're going to get busted.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're on the upper crust.
Well, you got to dig really deep to get down there.
You got to dig deep. But the problem is it's a mix. It's an eclectic mix of bullshit. Because when you get down in there, though, you do also have pedophilia going on down there. You've got illegal drug dealings, but the information that is in there. I mean, a lot of people actually go down there and corporations go down there and they build their main sites and structures of it before they even release it to the regular net. And a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of information down there. You could find out a lot of bullshit.
But that's why I think as technology grows, at some point there's going to be I've said this a lot before. We're either going to blow ourselves up, or at some point there's going to be a turning point where someone gets out something that changes everything, because that's where we're at. It's either going to
right now it's teetering both fucking ways, because I tell you one thing, this time around there's going to be a war, and when it does, it's going to be nuke. It's not going to be nothing but.
Oh yeah, that's going to be an ugly fucking.
Well, we are already. If you look at all, we are, like you said, we're World War III now. We're it's a different kind of war, and it's going to be a different.
Now.
It's not just a war on. The propaganda machine is so much stronger now than it could ever possibly be, because people.
Oh yeah, with all the media.
Because what they do is they get. Well, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We had that done in France, and why did that happen in France? They already sent out 2 aircraft carriers before the so-called bombings in France happened. The reason they did that is they already knew they were about to enter the war, like we did back in World War II when Japan came and hit Pearl Harbor. The United States already knew they were getting into the war, but they needed to convince the people of it, and a way to do that was to look like we were being attacked. When they knew that Japan was coming over to hit us, we were already prepared and ready for that to happen. They knew they were going to have casualties, and they were going to have life loss. But they were prepared for that because they wanted to join World War II. Same thing happened with France now. They already knew that this was going to happen. It was partially set up. And if not, at least they knew it was coming, and they planned ahead of it. They sent 2 warships already over there to start bombing. The reason is because once they got involved, that brings NATO in. Once NATO's in, they have a treaty with 52 other smaller countries that have to back them under that treaty. So now we've not only got France in there, but we've got other 52 little tiny countries that have to back their ass also. So now we have France, we've got Russia, we've got China, we've got us, we've got 52 other. What does that look like? That's a fucking world war.
Oh yeah, more countries getting involved in this particular war.
The other 2 countries have they have nothing to do, but they got to find out. They have to follow the treaty that they'd signed with France.
That's true, but I also see. Here's the thing. I think it's more complicated in some ways, though. Like, I do believe that the Muslim religion is so corrupt in some places, and I'm not saying, I don't think it's all just being people. Oh well, we're just pushing them that way and this way. I think there are. Because it almost seems
corrupt
like
Christians too, though, man. You know,
it almost seems like you guys are saying everything's all planned and all. It's almost like you have this all-knowing Jesus, like the patriarchy. It's almost like you guys believe in the patriarchy.
I know they just know certain people. I mean, it's like anything else. If you want to go out and manipulate somebody, you go for their weaknesses, and they know what the weaknesses are. I'm not saying they have it all planned out. What I'm saying is they're playing upon hates and hatred that's already out there and using it to their advantage.
See, I think my idea is this, and this might sound partisan. I don't give a shit. I think the Democrats hate America so fucking much that they want us to fail.
Why would you say Democrats and not Republicans?
I think they're all playing for the same team.
Because they might, some of them are playing for the same team, but I think some of them are not. I think there are actually some people out there that actually fucking believe what they're saying. Because if I don't believe that, then what the fuck is the point? And I see it on the Republican side, and the reason I see it on the Republican side... Wait,
I've been trying to tell you the whole time.
Yeah. The reason I see it on the Republican side more is because our country is so left-leaning and so fucking weak in terms of individualism. I'm sorry, Republicans just focus more on that. When I talk to Christians, okay, when you talk to a Christian, right, or at least some people, you think, oh well, the Democrats are going to be so much more tolerant. But I've talked to Mormon people, and I see all the people that are conservative will actually detail their fucking arguments, through their posts but they won't be.
It's the bullshit they spend. Sure, I'll give you that.
Some of it, but some of it actually is belief, and they actually go, well, I want you to listen to my ideas. On the left, what you have is safe spaces. What you have are people that you cannot fucking criticize. Well, they're Muslims. You can't call them extremists, and that's where I was getting at before. Is that, for me, like when you see people blowing themselves up, and they are Muslim, and they say Allah Akbar, whatever, and the Muslims are like, well, you can't judge us like that. It's like, well...
Okay, but at the same time, that's almost like our thing with the government here, with, You know, well, you can't say that they're all playing for the same team. You can't say that they're all, you know, well, that's what it looks like to me.
You know what? Okay, if you have a car, all right, or you have anything that's fucking breaking down on you constantly. Okay, we'll put a car out there. Now you've got this fucking used car that you went out and bought, all right? Every fucking week you turn around, you get it fixed and it breaks down, all right? So once a week, or okay, we even say once a year. Once a year, this fucker breaks down on you. You have to put tons of fucking money in it. You know, you don't want to keep doing it, but as a religious fucking thing, it happens all the time. What are you going to do with the car?
Hopefully sell it or get rid of it.
You're going to get rid of it and start over. How many fucking every 4 years do we have to go by with Republicans or Democrats sitting in a goddamn office telling how they're going to fix everything?
I think it should be.
It doesn't happen.
Okay, so let me also explain something very, very simply. I don't think there should be two parties. I don't think there should be any parties. I think you should just run on your ideas, and then you win. Of course, that's not going to happen because
that's how it should be.
Yeah,
but you know, now they've got this. You know, choose your favorite team.
All I'm saying is that the people that I look at and what they're saying goes along with what I actually believe and what makes sense tend to be more on the Republican side. Now, in terms of some of their social stuff, like I don't believe in a lot of that social bullshit. Some of that. So I guess I could say I'm more Democrat in that way. Although,
right.
Like Planned Parenthood is a fucking corrupt organization that deserves to be shut down. We should not be paying for that with taxpayer dollars simply because a lot of people don't believe that should be something that's paid for.
I just don't like how people will lump people into categories. You're a conservative then. You know, like if you disagree with one
I'm all over the place. Like I believe.
Do you think that's actually fucking making a difference? Do you think it's just the Democrats that did that? I mean, you don't think that Republicans have a hand in any of this, or vice versa?
Of course they do. Of course they do.
You got Bushes and Clintons. I mean, we've had what 2-3 decades of that shit.
Bushes, Clintons.
I mean, come on, think about this. When Bush was in, he ran what, 2 terms?
Oh, absolutely.
And within 2 terms, we went for wars of we look for weapons of mass destruction. It's kind of fucked up to me that we can go over to Iraq. We can find Saddam Hussein hiding in a 4x4 little fucking hole in the goddamn desert with a lid over top of it and sand on it. We could find his ass, but yet we went over to find ISIS, and they're all over the place, and we can't find the fuckers. How does that work?
Well, or then remember it was Bin Laden, and they blew him up, and that was done.
Let me explain why I believe. Let me explain my thing is more about our country and our ideals about each other. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but traditional values and in terms of just having structure and having some semblance of stability is way better than what the fuck we have now, because our country is fucking collapsed completely.
No doubt. I'll agree with you 100% on that.
So that's where I'm coming. So in terms of people that I would like, and because it just kind of makes me, it's kind of funny to me that people are talking about the Republicans being racist, but in the Republican group of people that are running for the office, you've got a woman, you've got 2 Cuban Americans, you've got a black man, you have a bunch in the Democrats. You have Bernie Sanders, the other guy, and Hillary, and the other 2 guys, Bernie Sanders and the other, they're actually actively pushing them out because the Democrats are demanding that a woman become president. So I guess that's why I don't trust either one in certain ways.
It really truly doesn't matter who gets in fucking office. Nothing's ever fucking changed.
I think it does.
Regardless of the party.
You really believe that bullshit?
I think it can, depending. I think it can because someone has to shake shit up.
Yeah, but a president is nothing more than a puppet that's being used for an agenda, to carry an agenda.
It depends on the power of the puppet. It depends on what they do to use that, to how they use it to their advantage.
Yeah, but how many times do you always hear, well, the reason they couldn't do anything is because of their cabinets? You know, dude, every president, the same bullshit. Whenever they get criticized.
Well, it depends on what you want from a president, you know. It depends on what you, I mean, there's got to be, okay, this sounds religious, I know, but there's got to be some hope, or else there's no point in anything, right? We're just done. Which I kind of agree in a way. That's why I want technology to come in, because technology will come and blast all this shit apart.
I mean, that's a great idea, but I'm just saying I don't think it would ever fly, man. Because everybody's
You know what's going to save our asses? The only thing that's going to save our fucking asses is that people stop falling for this goddamn bullshit, start learning how to love and trust one another, and find the trust,
see, now that's
and
where I
people
think,
get back together.
I
I
think
mean,
that-
I don't know
see-
how it would ever
see,
fucking
that's-
happen, to be honest with you. I've
that's
got no fucking clue.
Yeah, see, that's the naive thing that I think it's completely different. I don't think it's some love and trust. I think it's like something crazy coming out. Like, all right, we've created something that can produce food for everyone without, with a small amount of resources.
See, they
No,
may have that already, but they're not going
I'll
to
be
give that
honest
to us.
They're
You know,
never
to
going to
be
give
totally
that
honest
to
with
us.
Well, because it's anything for the greater good. These motherfuckers don't want to see, man. They just want to,
It's going to happen. It's going to be either forced upon everybody to happen that way, or our fucking species is going to die off. It's not going to have no fucking choice. It's either going to be we all fucking hate each other enough that we start nuking the shit out of everything and destroy this goddamn planet, and then people may open their eyes and say, hey, look, we truly need one another to make this fucking work, and without this, we've got nothing fucking left right now. Or they nuke everything, and the last couple people beat the fuck out of each other and eat their fucking corpses. That's about what's left.
Wait. There's one other option.
Okay.
Artificial intelligence. We create a computer that's as intelligent as us, or more intelligence, that's sentient, and that changes everything.
Wait a minute. So you're voting for fucking Terminators?
Should we
Why
have
not?
we should have a robot?
Why
Yeah.
the
What do they call
fuck
cyborg?
Why not to rule us?
You think that's not going to happen?
It might.
I mean, come on.
It might. But hey, but
Haven't you walked up to anybody yet and talked to people and see how fucking stupid they are now?
Wait.
Yeah, we already got Terminators.
But wait. But think about this idea. Think about this idea. Intelligent computers are actually, it's going to happen. I'm sorry. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's I think it's inevitable. And when it does happen, and they do take us over, there's either one of two things is going to happen. And then we keep saying this, either one or two things. We're going to die.
One or two. Let's hear. We hear one, but where's the second one?
Here's the first. The first is we're going to be working with these computers, and they're going to make life so much easier for all of us that we all will prosper and be able to enhance our own minds and elevate ourselves as a
Sorry,
species.
that sounds Disneylandish, but go ahead.
Of course, just like the only way we're going to survive is everyone starts to love and care about each other.
Well, but I mean, if you can't, if we're all divided,
That's the
how
same-
the fuck are we going to do anything?
Thing. It's the same thing. It's all idealism. It's all what we think will happen, but for different reasons, obviously. Or they're going to say fuck humans and exterminate us, and then it'll just be all our
No, they're going to have to say
us.
it's going to be the latter, because I hate to tell you this, want to break the sad news, but most smartphones are smarter than most of the people I fucking talk to on a daily basis.
That's why
So-
they have smartphones. For
So
dumb
think about
people.
when these things can actually start fucking thinking. You think they're not going to go? These things are a fucking waste. These fucking cars,
I don't think they will, because
it's gonna happen.
I think there may be a chance that they don't.
Really?
Yep.
Really? You think they're going to love us and be like?
It depends. It depends on if you're in the
Human.
95% of intelligence. If you're up in the high intelligence, they might go, "Hey, these guys are worth it." And then I don't give a shit.
There's going to be some fucking robot making Max walk around without his shoes on while he's squirting oil.
True.
Oh, but think if it's all robots, it won't be Jackums anymore.
You're right. You won't be Jackson anymore. When you go to Red Lobster, they'll be like, "May I take your order, please?" And it'll be exciting.
Yeah. Or the dude who's going to take me to Red Lobster will be a robot.
Actually, you probably wouldn't mind that. You'd be like, "Hey, that's."
As long as it's a free fucking dinner, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get something free. What the fuck?
The robot knows that it's like, I'll give him a free dinner. He will bone me in the
Actually, I got to piss real quick, guys, if you can hang tight.
for a
Really?
second, sure.
Yeah.
But
So talk.
My opinion, I just think that really, unless we start getting together as a fucking species, we're doomed. Flat out fucking doomed.
because we are doomed, and the reason is the world is small. There's no difference between me and you now than there is between me and someone in Russia. I talked about this last week, but I've been thinking about more often is that there's no distance issues at all. I can
Not anymore, no.
No, I can live stream with people all across the world with an instant communication, instant talking. I have friends who've met when one of my friends was in Nevada, one was in Thailand, and now they're living together in Oregon. And they met. They just met online, and because these conversations like we're having, especially if we have webcams, there's no distance. There's no difference before I am. So the world is so small that it makes it easier to control but harder to control.
No, I agree with you. You're right.
So
I mean, you've got more people to control, but and they're doing it through the technology, but they're not. It's really truly a fucked up
we're
mess.
basically Jerkman. We've actually are alive at the pivotal point in human history. Because
I agree with you.
I think it's extinction or it's expansion.
I totally agree with you on that one. The bad part is I think it's extinction. I truly do.
I'm not sure yet. I'm very close to believing it could be, because we're not getting smarter, and the danger that we have is that we are so cloistered in our own groups. Because people don't.
And we're allowing technology to kind of control our lives.
People don't like conflict.
Look how dependent we are on it.
I mean, you can find people that literally think they're dolphins and female dolphins. They're dudes who think they're female dolphins and they're also disabled because they have PTSD, and they guess they can find that. They can find other people who think exactly like they do, and then they cannot talk to others who don't think differently. So we are all becoming more and more and more
divided into groups,
stuck in our groups, and stuck in our
put you in your group, know your role, that kind of shit.
Well, like I said a long time ago, we've been conditioned for some of this shit, and whether we've been truly conditioned by a set people or it's just the way it's went. When I was younger, when the phone rang, the phone fucking rang. If it took you 10 times to get to the goddamn phone, it took you 10 fucking rings. Everybody sat there patiently and waited because you knew. Then when it comes along, a fucking answer machine. An answer machine. You had to make sure you got to that phone before the 10th ring, or it would hang up and you couldn't talk to them. You had to listen to the message to play back, and then you have to call them back after that. So right there was the start of ADHD, I believe. I mean, you had to start rushing. You were starting to be programmed that you have to snap right then and there to do this, or you're going to miss out. Well, then we bring in political correctness. What does political correctness bring in? Nothing but the me syndrome. When you hit the me syndrome, it's all about you and nobody else. So you're politically correct not to hurt anybody else's feelings, but you're not trying to hurt anybody else's feelings.
And then we are at such a high level of industrial technological brilliance that we have no concept of what it is to truly suffer. Because we've never had to actually worry. Have either you ever woken up in a day and go, if I don't eat today, I'm going to die?
No.
Never, have you ever even considered that concept? Well, I'm going to wake up.
Well, I did there when I was fasting for a while. I thought, shit, if I don't get something, made me sick.
Yeah, that's true.
But that was personal. That was something you were making.
Yeah,
that was something that was, obviously I could have controlled.
Yeah. So the point is, we have no concept of what it really means to truly have to survive. We don't.
We're going to find out, all of us probably.
We probably should, but we don't. Eventually. Most of us don't know. There might be some of us here, and more than we think. Actually, more than we would believe. That actually every day wake up and go, if I don't get myself some food, I'm gonna die soon. I need to go out and hunt some shit and beat some shit over the head and have it possibly kill me. So we have no concept of that. So our biggest problems are being offended, are having our feelings hurt. So that's because oh my god, it's like physical violence. Oh, my boyfriend told me I was a bitch. Now I have PTSD.
PTSD now. Oh.
Caitlyn Jenner is just as brave as a soldier who's fucking getting shot at. Oh.
Well, okay. Supposing the scenario does play out that everything gets a little bit fucked up and goes awry, how many of us really know how to go out and do our own fucking food anymore?
We don't.
No, I don't. I sure as fuck
don't. And most ground is unfertile anyhow. You can't even plant shit in half the stuff any longer.
Yeah.
So, how are we all going to go out and plant little fucking gardens and make this shit grow, especially in a fucking desert, to survive on?
Yeah.
And you're going to go out and fucking kill some squirrel and eat it? That was some good squirrel ass right there.
I wouldn't even know what to do with it.
Cook it on my open fire.
I'd have to try to skin it and kill it.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, when I was younger, we did that stuff, but that's what it was like then. You went out and caught the fish, you scaled them, blah, 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 whatever. But now I cringe at even thinking about doing something like that. I'm like, God, that's not no fucking burger.
Yeah, because
we're too industrial. Like in my case, I'm a city boy. I don't know how to do any of that shit. I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
No, you'd be perfect in a Holocaust situation. You'd be great for negotiations.
Oh well, I would just eat people.
Look, I'll let you ass fuck him for 3 cigarettes and a barbecue sandwich.
Barbecue sandwich.
So, what are you saying? I'm going to be pimping people out to do my bidding?
Yeah. We're going to be pimping your ass out. You won't know what's coming. We'll be like, hey, get him from behind. He won't see you.
Here's a lobster tail. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Just tell him there's lobster involved and he'll be all willing to do it.
Joke's never going to die, dude. Ever going to die.
course
Never
not.
dying. As long as I'm alive, I'll keep it going.
As long as I'm alive.
Well, I don't know. That might not be too much longer.
Who fucking
Oh,
knows?
wow, dude.
It could be, expiration date could be next week sometime. I don't know.
There's some bitterness
Yeah,
going on
fuck.
there, man.
Oh man, shit.
Oh, man.
Well, this was fun, man.
I think it's about that time. What do you guys think?
I think so. You guys got anything else?
Not really. My main thing was just about how people are being judged, but I think like there's a right to judge people, and we kind of got that earlier. Like there's a right to judge people in base. I mean, if there were Christians killing as many people in terms of just just based on Christianity, then you could say, oh well, Muslims, you need to handle your shit, right?
Right.
I think my problem with the whole refugee thing is that people are like, well, you shouldn't judge all Muslims like that. Well, I'm going to judge people on what I see. If I'm
Well,
going to,
and here's the other funny thing. I don't know if you knew this, but there's Muslims living in France, and they're kind of like the Native Americans here, where they have what's that called? Sharia, the Muslim law.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Sharia law.
Yeah, they basically let them. Their France laws cannot affect a Muslim that lives in France, so they do not have to abide by French law.
really
they will abide
convenient.
by their own.
It's all this people. It's political. We gotta let you live. Let you fucking live by religion. Yeah, let you have your own.
Yeah, well, that's it. And you see what the fuck it got them. You know what I'm saying? So
it's really enlightening and fucking invigorating that the world is this way. We are such a positive group here.
aren't we? Well, we're just saying what's real, man. I mean, a lot of people
True.
want to put chocolate on turds and say, "Come on, it's ice cream." Just
Ending
pretend
if
it
you like
is.
it.
It's true. It's fucking true, man. I mean, fucking life, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't,
Thanks.
like we said, can't put chocolate on turds and say, "Hey, they're cupcakes." Come on, just pretend they are. Just eat them. Not like a turd covered in chocolate.
I heard this asshole say one time, and I'll do my ending if you want me to here. I can do
Okay.
it for you. All right. He goes, all I can tell you is fuck each other and fuck each other good because we want a world where a goddamn blind man can't get his jackums off with a fucking robot toad bitch.
That's right. God damn it.
Yeah, we can't have a word. You're right. A world where we can't jack off over imaginary RPG chicks in video games.
That's
Exactly.
shit. Oh, anyway.
That was fun.
Well, fuck. I'm Maxwell Silverhammer.
I'm Cruise Control.
I'm GJ, the world's motherfucking Doom Jerkman.
And check out DJ Jerkman on You're So Full
YouTube.
of It on
So Full of It.
I don't know if it's on YouTube, but it's definitely on Facebook.
My Facebook
Check out
page, yep.
Maxwell Silver on the STEM Radio on YouTube, and check out me on Jester375, I think it is, or Cruise Control 375. You can also find me on Twitch. We'll be doing some more of that. I don't know what night we'll do that. We'll get that going on
find
again,
one.
and we'll figure it out. This will be up tonight or tomorrow, 11:21. It's the fucking Nothing Sacred, and that's the story.
Story there,
bitches. And fuck you, and have a great evening. Fuck you guys.
Okay.